Nalia.
I did. We're live now.
Right. We are
Hello.
live. It is the 15th of December 25. It's Monday, getting close to those Christmas celebrations, but every day is a celebration of God's love. And we have Afshan here, who's founder of Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics, to talk about the things that we put in our bodies that may affect our reproduction. But ultimately, all those things have effect on everything in our lives and not just reproduction. But I guess ultimately the most important thing in life is
Love, happiness,
reproduction.
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 It
Love and
it comes from
happiness
love.
has nothing to do with life. That's a
Yes,
marketing term for reproduction. That is
yes,
it.
that's true.
I
That's true.
love you. Oh my God. Yes, but I was writing a little something today is that the problem is infertility is on the rise for
Mhm.
men and women, bad sperm, bad eggs, bad embryos, bad environments, bad libido, bad sexual drives, all sorts of things are happening to humans at a younger age. And could it be what's in the air and what we drink and what we eat and everywhere that we put it in our body, Ashran? Would you go
Yes.
ahead, Afshan, and share your wonder of life and how you've gotten to this idea that there's something else we need to be looking at besides just diet?
Yes, I'd love to do that. So let me just introduce myself. I think a lot of people know me because I've talked on this platform before, but let me just, in case there's someone new, my name's Afshan Hussain. I'm the founder of Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics. And my company does three things. One of the things it does is it makes fertility safe and pregnancy safe, and also safe for the breastfeeding baby safe products, mostly personal care products. So your hand wash, basics like hand wash, body wash, things like that. And a lot of people say, well, why do you make that? Because that's so many clean products out there. And one thing I want to say, the clean beauty in the United States is not fertility safe, not pregnancy safe. And if you want to know why that is, there's a whole, I talk about it for an hour and you can dig deep
Well,
into
tell
that.
us why it's that way.
So it's the way the beauty industry is built here. If you want to like buy something, you got to go to Walmart, Target, Sephora, Ulta, or the pharmacies. And all of these companies, they have one standard requirement if you want to sell any products at their place. You got to have a warehouse, proof of warehouse, and proof of stock, like to the 100,000, 500,000 units, like a lot. And so you have to have these very, very industrial preservatives, which and end up being horrible for fertility. Parabens, for example, they are directly linked to diminished ovarian syndrome. We have so much, like thousands of studies, literally that point to that. And then there are a bunch of other ones that are so-called new replacement ones that are, I mean, some of the newer ones that are touted as like, oh, this is a great replacement for parabens. They're cytotoxic, and so, if they circulate in your blood, who's to say that if it induces cellular death, it doesn't induce embryonic cellular death? So, it's like I make
Why not
my,
just not use any of it?
well, a lot of my patients, the clients that come to me say I can't do that because I'm a high powered lawyer and I need to wash and I need to look good. And what my whole thing was like, let me see if I can find, especially in Europe where 2,500 ingredients are prohibited, just cosmetics alone, just the cream stuff. Here, 11 are prohibited. In America, 11. So you're talking 11 versus 2,500. And also in America, you can say something's organic and have one ingredient that's organic, or something's natural and it's not even certified as natural. Like, what does natural mean? Oil is natural. Is crude derivative natural? And in America, you can actually have crude derivatives, like oil derivatives, that are touted as natural because it's a natural. It's not natural. We always like to talk about the tallow. Guess what they do with tallow? So many tallow brands. They did a whole like look into this. They put phthalates in it. They put plasticizers in it to make it more smooth. So now you're like, oh, it's tallow. I'm going to do tallow. But if it's not certified, if it's not verified, you don't know what's in it. And that is the problem. So I make all my products over here in Europe, and every product is certified, verified, verified. If you get something from EWG verified, it's a paper verification. You just got to send in some paper. You can always doctor the paper.
So isn't it true these words natural, organic are certified in themselves by the governments, and that's one of the biggest problems, that you can't rely on the governments to sort of really keep it clean, these concepts and ideas. Do you think Europe is doing a better job than America? And then what about Asia and Africa and the other Americas and things like that?
So the EU has, all the European nations are under the EU umbrella. So they have to follow EU guidelines. And absolutely, your EU laws make the manufacturer the responsible party, which means that the brand cannot just do whatever it wants. When I submit a label, the manufacturer, before putting on that label, it has to be run through a million checks. My shop name is Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics. They wouldn't let me put it on the label except in a tiny little thing that said sold on www.PregnancySafeCosmetics, because they say it's a claim. You cannot just put
true.
Natural. You
can
cannot put.
You can't put natural.
Not until it's certified. Someone has to verify that the percentage of total ingredients that are natural has to be marked on it, and then you get the certification. And my products are 98, 99, or 100%, and that's why they're marked natural. If you're like got one ingredient that's natural, you cannot mark natural. In America, though, if it's made on American soil, you can have one ingredient that's organic, that's stamped USDA organic, one ingredient that's natural, and you are allowed to put that label natural and organic on, even though the rest of it is not. So that's a problem when you start realizing what impacts, which I'm going to talk about, certain ingredients have, because there are impacts that are linked to the diminished ovarian reserve, others that are linked to the histamine reactions and the mast cell activation syndrome in endometriosis patients. And they're specifically bad for those patients that have endo. And so what happens is these endo patients, they go in for the surgery, everything's removed, they go in 3 months of Lupron, and they're still not getting pregnant. But when we look at what they're putting on their body, it's very plain, because we got hundreds of studies on how these very ingredients like kick up the whole inflammatory response. So they don't have the inflammation coming down. They have to tackle that. They have to manage it. So they don't know what to manage. And all the fertility coaches only talk about phthalates and parabens. There are a million other things out there.
Not all of them. Let's say that, not all.
Yeah, not all.
You don't.
No, I don't.
Right. So question by Esperanza 87. Do you provide any tallow-based products for men, like moisturizers, bath soaps, or shampoo?
I do have moisturizers, bath soap, shampoo. They're not tallow-based. The reason why they're not tallow-based is because I tried to find tallow without the phthalates and these other things that make the tallow a little bit thinner. And I got, because you go through testing phases before you put out a product. You have to test them. And a lot of people said, oh, this is clogging my pores, it's causing me acne, So I ended up, after much, because I love the idea of tallow. I just love it, but I ended up not going that road. So I do
haven't yet. Because there's still more research. More and more people are doing tallow-based products, which minimizes a lot of these things. Which maybe that's where we have to get to, because we used to make soap out of tallow. We used to make all these things, and I guess maybe it's to simplify for so many people, because it's hard to sort of trust. How do we trust anything out there? Is that our biggest problem? Is trust?
Yeah.
So for me, there are two problems. the first problem is the trust, and that can be dealt with by certifications and, trusting a brand. I mean, I bring you everything certified. There's nothing I sell that isn't certified and verified. And not only that, my any beauty brand will either hire an in-house like formulator, or they'll go to the manufacturer and say, give me some of your formulators, and they'll propose things to you because they don't know what you're trying to make and what safety requirements you have. So it's up to you to look at their formula and say, no, not that, not that, not that. And that's what I do. It's not just about finding some, I don't know,
So
manufacturer. You got to really know it.
aren't plant products one of the risks of plant products that we've probably been led down is that they contain these substances that could be harmful,
It
and
depends.
and for thousands of years, I imagine we've been using these products that are affecting all sorts of systems of our body. Or what particular what are the harmful plant products that were because a lot of these are industrial, but a lot of them are plant products too that are natural. Could there be natural plant products that are harmful?
Yeah. So let me get into that. So essential oils are highly concentrated plant products, and they're mostly fetal toxic, embryo toxic. So for pregnant women, they're a no-go. For women who are trying to conceive, some of the extracts, an extract is just boiled plant, you know, and rosemary extract will impede embryo implantation. So you don't want, and rosemary extract is all the rage for all the organic like makeup brands. It's some kind of it'll kill the microbes in there, and it's also like in hair products. You want to keep away from rosemary extract. You want to keep away from whole essential oils. You can have derivatives, components of certain essential oils that are okay, but you really have to know your list. There are essential oils like clove oil that will actually impact pancreatic enzymes. So, you want to know, what is this particular essential oil going to do? And that leads me to my next little point I want to make. My approach to toxin reduction is completely different than the majority of people out there. I don't try to wait around for some major international body to tell me this is toxic and this is not. What I do is I look at each ingredient as an input. It's called a functional approach to toxin reduction. And you look at it as an input and you say, okay, what does this ingredient do in the body? And given this woman or this man, is it a good thing or a bad thing? And you can do this for any ingredient, not just in your cosmetics. I'll give you a case study of a patient I have, who's actually one of my patients. She came to me and she said, she had not the perfect luteal phase. We got her optimized, and then all of a sudden she came to me and she said, last 2 months my cycle has been really short. I don't understand why. And I said, what did you change? And she said, I just took this supplement for hormonal acne. And I was like, you don't have any hormonal acne. Your hormones are fine. Like we just went over them and made sure everything was good. Like you don't have hormonal acne. And I said, let me see the ingredients list on that. So she screenshotted, sent it to me. It had something called DIM in it. DIM clears out your estrogen. And what was happening with her cycles was that, it wasn't the luteal phase. It was that was getting long, like she wasn't ovulating. And in the beginning, it was her luteal phase was short. And now her ovulation was going like later and later. And I said, DIM is clearing out your estrogen. So you're not getting the estrogen peak. So you're
What
not
is
getting the
dim? What
LH
is
peak.
dim? What is
It's not,
dim?
it's an ingredient you find in clear stem.
Where does it come from?
It's probably a plant. Yeah.
I'm always like, I always ask, where did this stuff come from?
Well, if it's
And
not a plant, it's a plant mimic.
it's an industrial plant. It's either nature plant or industrial human plants.
Yeah.
That's one of the problems. We're led down the primrose path. What happened to natural? What happened to natural? Would you say natural might be part of the best way for us to go? But if you insist on putting it on from time to time, I guess, could you make your own lip balm? right?
But a lot of people who make their own lip stuff all go down the essential oils, road. I personally think, and I'll tell you what I think.
But we're in the carnivore keto world of animal fats, and so could you use animal fat? And how do we inspire? Because we have so many people just buying fat, rendering it themselves, and making the bombs and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah, you can do that. I mean, and there are, and I think there are YouTube videos of people who are doing that and show you how to do that if you really want to do that. Again, you got to. I would just say don't do it in a big batch until you test it, because if you put it on your face.
But that's the beauty small. But I want to ask a question, because ultimately maybe the problem is we all feel forced to use all these things in order to be the high-powered lawyer to go do these things. And maybe that's part of the problem.
Maybe. I mean, I am very proud of my line because I have worked on it for, I worked on it for a year before I launched it. And there are some plant ingredients in there, but every plant ingredient I have researched the heck out of. I have made sure that they are not impacting negatively fertility, pregnancy, general health, breastfeeding babies. I have made sure that they have positive effects. My patients that use them, they do get pregnant. So they do have successful outcomes. So I think that it's not about toxic, non-toxic. I always say every ingredient is an input in your body. It can be good, it can be bad, depending on what else is going on in your body. This the clove essential oil. If you need the pancreatic enzymes to be it has an impact on pancreatic enzymes. So if you need it, fine. But if you don't need it, maybe you don't need it.
What got you into this business in the first place? And two, are we seeing an uptick in infertility and for male and females? What got you into this business in the first place?
So I was trying to conceive for a very long time. I wanted to get pregnant, tried everything, and really wasn't able to get pregnant. During that time, I was also getting very sick. I was diagnosed with endometriosis when I was very young, in my 20s. And when I wanted to get pregnant, I went to my OBGYN. They said, you have endo, you should have this surgery. I did the 3 months of Lupron, and it just wasn't happening for me. I, at that time, at some point, didn't really understand that my body, when you have endometriosis, you have usually histamine intolerance, and then you have mast cell activation syndrome. You need an autoimmune protocol diet like carnivore. I didn't know what carnivore was. I didn't know what keto was, but I was becoming allergic to everything. And I went to a doctor that did the back scratch test, another one that did like this blood test. The list was a mile high of things I couldn't eat. I could eat meat though. I could eat meat, not any form of meat. So I just naturally said, okay, you know what? I'm going to cut out everything that's really bothering me, that's making me feel like I can't breathe, because I would put something in my mouth and I'd have to walk around with a box of 20 milligram tablets of prednisone. Didn't know when it would happen. I got so sensitive to it that I went to my uncle's house one day over vacation with my mom, and I said, please make sure there's no corn oil, no soy. I'm allergic to corn and soy. And he's like, oh, we got olive oil. I put one bite in my mouth and I had to reach for that prednisone. And I said, this is chicken, but I'm reacting to it. What's in that oil? And he's like, it's olive oil, baby. Here's the bottle. And I look at it. So it was a mix. It was a mix. So it had other
might some people also have allergic reactions to clean olive oil, because it's a
maybe it's a plant, but it was the one oil that I wasn't reacting to. See, you don't know. I was allergic to dairy, so I couldn't have butter. I was allergic to. I can't breathe when I have a piece of cheese. I cannot breathe. Like, it's such a strong reaction. And same with eggs. I can't take it. So no dairy, no eggs, no soy. I was the Lion's diet is it for me if I really am suffering. Now, when I got pregnant, that changed. After the pregnancy, my immune system calmed down so much, needing to be pregnant, just kind of changed things. Then I could eat things again, but very, very small amounts. Still, if I ever get it bad, I just go on the Lion's diet, meat, water, salt. That's it. That's my cure all for a very, very long time. And it
Simplicity.
is what I fall
Simplicity.
back to. Yeah.
We have to find some trust in the products and the people that are creating them. I've known Afshan for a number of years now, and developed a trust into her ideas and products. And again, dim the simplicity that it's natural and formed when your body digests cruciferous vegetables. So they're in the vegetables, right? Isn't that the simplicity? And so any particular, what about detergents that we use or soaps we use to clean our clothing, which we then rinse in our clothing? Could our clothing be a problem also besides the cosmetics?
Yes, yes. So let me tell you a little bit about what I was saying, because I've got a whole little thing that I prepared. So, like I said, one of the things that we do is the products, but the other things we do is free education. And I want to throw out some free resources for people. If you want a list of ingredients to avoid in your cosmetics, go to PregnancySafeCosmetics.com, go to the contact us page and write me anything. You could write blah, 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 and it'll automatically kick you for free back the list of ingredients to avoid. Another free resource, I've got a broadcast channel on my Instagram. You can click on my bio and click on I think it says one of the links. It'll sign you up for the broadcast channel. Anytime I see a post that's really interesting for those who are trying to conceive, I kick it off to the broadcast channel. So join that, it's for free. Another free resource I've got, as of course, you can listen to the podcast, which is the last link in my bio on my Instagram profile. It's an hour-long podcast where I talk about why clean beauty products are not fertility safe, pregnancy safe, or lactation safe. And the last thing is, if you are trying to conceive and you've got some time in front of you, my first consultation for my fertility program is free. You just have to go to PregnancySafeCosmetics.com, click on fertility program, go to the middle of the page, make sure to leave a phone number, and I will get back to you and we'll schedule that free first consult on Zoom. Now, my fertility program has a toxin reduction component. And as Dr. Kilt said, it's not just about cosmetics. There are 5 areas we look into. We look at your food and water. I look at food and water. Why? Because guess what? Your taco tortilla, I know we're in the keto world, but a lot of people still got to dip into those carbs that go out for Taco Bell, or they go out for, they'll make homemade tacos at home. And those tortillas, like corn tortillas or the other ones, they got parabens in it. So if you're eating a lot straight and you're eating that,
What's a paraben?
It's a preservative, and it's linked to diminished ovarian syndrome.
What's paraben made from?
Oil, crude oil.
There you go, Alia. Get at it.
I'm going to find it right now.
Crude oil. It's made from crude oil, and so petrochemicals. So, and they put it right in there as a preservative so the thing doesn't rot and you're eating it. So water, I will actually look at, you give me your zip code and I will look at all the 3 databases to see if your water needs to be filtered or not. I'll look at your food and water, your bath and beauty ingredients. I won't just look at your bath and beauty ingredients for the list of ingredients that are so-called non-toxic by some international authority. I'm going to take a look at every ingredient there is, and I'm going to look at what you're dealing with, your goals, your history, your labs, and I'm going to tell you if this is going to be bad for you or good for you, because some of these ingredients are not labeled as toxic because they don't know if they're toxic. But if we know the effect, if you know that this ingredient affects this enzyme, and that enzyme has something to do with the breakdown of your hormones, well, now you've got something. Now, if you understand the medicine part of it, you can understand if that ingredient is good or bad for you. And that's what I do. That's the most time-consuming part of my work, because it takes me like hours to do for 25 products. You can imagine I go through every single ingredient manually, 25 products, look at PubMed. I'm very passionate about this stuff. But after years of doing it, I've developed a database and I'm building an app so that part of it can be done by anybody. And And that thing doesn't exist right now. It's a functional approach to toxin reduction. We don't just go for a look at some master list. You got to forget about, you look at your labs, your goals, your health history, and you see if this impact by this ingredient will negatively impact you or positively impact you. I'm working on that right now. We should have the prototype for it in March, and then I'm going to build the app for it, and it should be out by the end of the year.
And all these things we're talking about are not just for reproduction. They're
for general health.
Whether you have migraines or bowel problems or skin problems or joint problems or relationship problems, all the problems of the world.
Absolutely.
Critical to look everywhere in your life. And yet at the same time, we live in boxes, we travel in boxes, lots of human beings, where does what are this mindset sort of like I can do this, and be more positive, contribute to getting to these new ideas?
Absolutely. You know, we it's an amazing thing. I took this course. It was an intensive course. Kind of covers 5 areas on women's health. And when we studied endometriosis, a really interesting thing was some huge percentage. I think it's like over 80% of women with endometriosis have had trauma in their childhood. I've had trauma in my childhood.
Wow.
And
I had trauma in my last 10 generations of childhood.
Yeah, but you don't have endometriosis.
well, men can get endometriosis.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting.
As we label it, this is one of our biggest problems, right? We make all these, inflammation. Everyone has inflammation. We call it endometriosis, but it's still just inflammation. And you're right, men don't get endometriosis as we speak about it because it's a female pelvic disorder, just like menopause is a female disorder, but we all get the same types of symptoms that we've labeled. And maybe part of our problem is we're all following some sort of false god, false idea of what we should be like.
Well, I think also, like you said, it's the boxes. So I look at, when I do toxin reduction, I look at food and water, bath and beauty. I look at clothing because there's so many like petrochemicals in your clothing. There's BPA, there's arsenic, there's all kinds of formaldehydes. All these things are harmful to your health. They're harmful to your fertility. They did a study in Italy where actually it was a review paper where they took all the studies in the same population. And it was interesting because they had 2 different studies. One said that 23.1% of the Italian population was kind of immune from being affected by BPA when it came to pregnancy rates. The other study done in the same population, but by someone else, 23.5%. So when you get 0.1 and 0.5, it's so small. You're talking with the same genetic population, same. Anyway, of all the review studies come together, they said that if you have BPA in your system, which really now today comes from plastic, the water and the plastic food and water things, but also from your clothing, because BPA is in a lot of like spandex kind of stuff. And it blocks pregnancy rates by up to 55%. 55%.
What about the air we breathe and the water we drink?
Absolutely. It has to be clean. I mean, yeah. So I look at.
Well, I guess maybe
air is hard.
There's no such thing as clean, or we're just saying as least toxic as possible.
Exactly. So you want to look at food and water, bath and beauty, clothing, household, kind of cleaning. So what you were talking about earlier, Dr. Kilt, with your dishwashing and your laundry detergent, you don't want that to be filled with plastic because then you're going to end up ingesting the plastic when you put the food on the plate. You want to also look at just contact items in home and office environment. There's this now fad of women face taping their face at night. They got to tape their face. All that adhesive has phthalates in it, and you're putting phthalates into your body. Phthalates are responsible for corrupting your DNA integrity, and those abnormal aneuploid, they're linked to aneuploidy. So you're sticking phthalates in, and they're also linked to a host of problems with male fertility. So of course, men don't face tape themselves at night, but
Oh yeah, I get face taped all the time.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's trying to face tape kilts. Right?
No, we love you. I got a little YouTube gave me like your year in review, and you were the #1 thing I watched on YouTube.
I love it. We're all loving each other. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
But I get face taped all the time.
Oh, so my fertility program. Did you want to say something?
People that tape their mouths shut at night?
So that, I think they do that so they can breathe through their nose because they're afraid of having, what do you call that?
Well, the spiders getting in.
Spiders getting in?
I think Ben Azadi does that. Ben Azadi is talk. He says he's got all these rituals, and his wife is like, "Oh, here he goes again." So I get the same thing.
No, okay. I don't know.
Here he goes again.
Well, if Ben Azadi was trying to get pregnant, I'd tell him to stop face taping, and end of story. But so toxin reduction is one of the components of my fertility program, but I have a few others. One of the other components I have is what I call the blood work check. I have a list of blood tests I like to see, and especially those who haven't seen a fertility clinic yet because they're waiting on their first appointment. My program is a support program. It's a pre-treatment program. So it's perfect for those who have made their first appointment, but it's 3-4 months down the line. They can come in and I can look at all of their environmental exposures. I can look at their basic blood work and make sure that their OBGYN hasn't missed something. Typical patterns that I see that get missed are a very low free T3 because they only looked at the TSH, a high hemoglobin A1C. This means they're insulin, they're not insulin sensitive, they're insulin resistant. I had a patient who came in, he said, "Oh, my doctor said it was a 5.7. It's just borderline. It's fine." I was like, 5.7? I think that's pre-diabetic. Like, that's a really high hemoglobin A1C. What are you eating? And he was like, "Well, I have the orange juice in the morning and my granola and my yogurt, and so organic and all of this and my protein shake." And there's so much sugar in all of those things. So we really worked on that, brought it down. And his wife is pregnant now, by the way. So, that's, yeah. He had morphology issues.
It's a male issue and a female issue equally.
Yes.
And we need to be helping our brothers and sisters around the globe, but we need to be teaching the moms and the dads how to care for your children so they will. And in utero is a big problem because we're being damaged. I tried to sue my mom and dad, but they were already gone. It didn't work. But in utero, we're being damaged by what we breathe, drink, eat, and think. And we have to incorporate more positive thinking, loving and kindness, generosity.
Yeah, I just posted about a study that said that mind-body work, if you'd work on the mind-body, it increases pregnancy rates by up to 50%. That was a Harvard study. Harvard. So
I created Mind Body Smile 20 years ago and CNY Healing Arts for that very reason that you're mentioning, because
that's right.
It's mindset. I always put faith first, and faith is mindset. That's all it is.
Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing more powerful to me, nothing. That's a personal little anecdote, but my way of manifesting is prayer. Because you believe in a God, you believe he's loving, you believe he's going to give you anything you ask for, and you believe you're going to get it, and that's it. So
which is the most important part. But every thought you think is a prayer.
Yes.
That's the craziness to it, right?
Yeah.
All we're doing all day, every day is praying. And God's like, what do I do with this one? He's like, okay, I can handle this one, but he trashes this one. And he doesn't quite know. We got any comments or questions coming through, Alia?
Yes, let's get some of them. Do you provide any tallow-based products for men, like moisturizers, bath soap, or shampoo?
So I don't have Not yet. Not. I do have. Let me just answer that. I have products for men. I have moisturizers. I have bath soap. I have the hair and body wash. So go to PregnancySafeCosmetics.com. Click into shop. But they're not tallow based. So I'm still looking for a good tallow based one that doesn't break you out, that doesn't cause irritation. I haven't found it yet. So that is, yeah, that's that. Any other questions?
Yeah, I put your website here, but what is your website?
It's PregnancySafeCosmetics.com. So the word pregnancy, the word safe, the words cosmetics with an S.com. And if you put /shop, that's the shop. Most of my
LifeSafeCosmetics.com is the next one.
Is the next
Forever
one. This one is pregnancy safe. I will say a couple of things. So about that comment that Dr. Kiltz just made. You know what? One of my patients recently said to me, she said, in all this process, what I understand is fertility is just a symptom of good health. She said to me, because most of my patients, almost all of them, will at some point, a few months in, be like, Afshan, I mean, I know we're not done with our work yet, but I'm sleeping better. I'm feeling more energetic. One of my patients, he was 48 years old, ex veteran. When he came in, he said, I'm in chronic pain. I'm popping pills, Tylenol or ibuprofen round the clock, every 4 hours. And I'm like, you're killing your gut. You got to stop that. And he's like, I can't. I'm in so much pain. 6 weeks in, he said, I'm not using anything. Thank you so much, Afshan. And then 2 weeks after that, he said, I've lost 60 pounds. Of course, I put him on carnivore,
Well,
but
what you're doing is taking care of the foundation, because we are alive for nothing else but making babies.
yeah,
Trouble they all are, for sure. But that's the truth of our cross we bear. It's reproduction. And so when you talk about Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics, you're talking about all of us, and everything you're sharing is something that's critical for every human being.
absolutely. FL Girl asks, is there a list of bad ingredients to have when shopping? Yes. So if you go to PregnancySafeCosmetics.com and just go to the contact us page and ask for the list of ingredients to avoid, you'll get it kicked back to you automatically. And as far as food ingredients, you just ask me for them and I'll send them to you. I don't have it kicked back automatically, but there's a list of 52 food ingredients that I have that is also, and the list of cosmetic ingredients is like 26 pages long. I am putting together an app that will provide that for you, but I don't have it out. I don't have it yet. Now, my research is not on EWG. It's not on Yucca. Nanohydroxyapatite toothpaste. Don't use it. It drops your melatonin. It makes you not sleep, and it drops the melatonin in the follicular fluid, which then corrupts the egg quality. So it's just horrible egg quality. I've got young women using it and unable to conceive. I get them to switch off of that, and they're unable to sleep. They're like waking up every half an hour unless they take 6 milligrams of melatonin. So that's another thing. My program, like I said, I do the blood work check. Another thing I do is a supplement check, because people take so many supplements based on something that they've watched. And often it's very, very hurtful to the fertility. I had a patient on methylene blue, which is indicated to pregnancy, and she actually lost the pregnancy. I have patients on all kinds of things, very young patients on DHEA because they were told, oh, I don't have my AMH is low. But when I looked into that patient that was on that, and then she went in for a cycle, it didn't work. Because like Amy Avizadeh, who's a reproductive endocrinologist, will say, oh, it often like makes the egg quality poor, and she doesn't like it. When I looked into it, and I said to her, okay, so all of your hormones are low, like your estrogen, progesterone, DHEA, and testosterone. I was like, what's your cholesterol doing? Because is it making it, or you? Because one patient had very low cholesterol, found out she had mold exposure, and that was tanking her cholesterol. Another patient, this patient had high cholesterol, but so-called high. But then I said, why isn't it, converting? Turns out she had very low thyroid. So I told her you need to go back to your doctor and have him address this thyroid issue because technically your TSH is within normal, but it's high. And look at your free T3, it's really low. So now her estrogen is coming back up, her progesterone is coming back up, everything's coming back up. And naturally, just because we fixed the thyroid, her cholesterol, which was according, I mean, I don't look at cholesterol numbers because I think they convert, but it's now down to ideal. And ideal cholesterol, there's a chart put out by Institute of Health that tracks like the women who get most pregnant and what their like their optimal, like what most of the time their cholesterol is. It's above like what the standard is. It's always 210 or more. So I don't look at cholesterol numbers except when to say, is it converting into your sex hormones or not? And if it's not, then I look at your thyroid. So this is what I say when I say I do the double check. Oh, another thing that never gets looked at in men, homocysteine and prolactin. I have so many patients that come in with high prolactin and nobody tested them for it, or high
Huge,
homocysteine,
huge, huge.
and I don't know why they don't get tested.
Which is all caused by a plant protein, low fat diet. This is the craziness, right? The plants contain the goitrogens, and the goitrogens are basically, I call them tumorgens. And
Interesting.
how common are ovarian cysts and tumors?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
All over the place, right?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome is one of the top 2 reasons for infertility. The other one being endometriosis. So yeah, so we do the blood work check. We do the supplement check to make sure they're not taking weird supplements, like and then the other thing I do the toxin reduction. When I do the nutrition, I ask them to log in what they're eating into Practice Better because they can scan it in or log it in, throw me pictures. And basically I go through for about a week or two everything that they're eating. And I get a little ding, so and so is just eating a big thing of something. And I'm like, okay, you can eliminate that, and that, and and I can comment on what they sent me. And so I work with them over a course of a few weeks to really get their nutrition down right. And so this is another another area that I think is underestimated because like I had a patient who came in, soy lattes and chia seeds. You know how estrogenic those things are. Like it just throws off your cycle completely. I had another one, who is like eating. Yeah, I told you about the organic granola in orange juice in the morning and making the like sugar sky high in the morning. So these are things that we would work on.
What about coffee and teas?
So coffee and teas, so many people can't go off of them. So I say, limit it to like 1 cup in the morning.
Well, let me. Are there harmful substances in coffee and teas?
Yes, mold, so much mold. So there, you want to get coffees and teas. The thing with the teas is the tea bags are often plastic, so you're dipping them in hot plastic. I always say if you like tea, get loose leaf tea. Make sure it's organic and not been treated with pesticides. If you're going to have coffee, make sure that it doesn't have mold in it. There's, I think, Purity Coffee is certified, tested for mold. So you want to make sure that you're not drinking in the mold or the plastic when you're getting coffee and tea, and try to limit the caffeine to like 1 cup a day.
Are there substances that plants make that are dissolved in the water that we make coffee or tea out of?
Other substances? I mean, there's tannin in the tea, and there's
tannins.
And then what is it in the coffee? I forgot the name. You'll tell me.
I was just listening to The Light Eaters by Zoe. I can't remember Zoe's last name. Really great book, and she was talking about thousands of oh my god, I can't remember the name of the herbivore in Africa. Udus, I think they were called. They're lichen palate types, and thousands of them died eating a plant that contains a lot of tannins at certain times in certain places. Like in one day, 3,000 were killed, and it's the tannins. And I'm just wondering if there may be, because people. I mean, I've been off coffee, back on coffee, and back off coffee, and I is that a big problem potentially?
It can be because I mean it causes a lot of inflammation also. Someone just asked about nanohydroxyapatite toothpaste. Yes, you can. It's not just me. I mean, if you look at it, Yuka, EWG, or PubMed, you won't find any studies on it. But where you have to go is you have to talk to other practitioners. Evan Brand posted his this one of the things that's coming out of clinic now is these people who are using nanohydroxyapatite, they get kidney stones, and the kidney stone analysis is coming back 100% hydroxyapatite. 100%. So it's calcifying the pineal gland, dropping your melatonin. It's actually toxic to epithelial cells in the kidney. It's like got a lot of issues, and I would not use it. It's a nanoparticle. It goes everywhere. Why do you want it? Like, just keep
Right.
away
So
from it.
there are. I mean, obviously, humans are plant and animal eaters. There's some risk that some of us are going to get sick and die due to the things we eat. I'm sure people have died trying to kill a cow, which has its own risks for sure. Um, and and finding ways, because our habits are, I mean, coffee and teas and alcohol. How about alcohol? Where does alcohol fall into all of this?
Oh, so I always tell my patients no alcohol. I'm sorry. I am not into especially if you're trying to conceive, just purge it. It's going to spike your, blood sugar. It's not going to help you in any way. There are so many studies. Alcohol is not, it's a no-go for me during the trying to conceive phase. I always say to the men, it takes 81 days to build a beautiful sperm and 1 day to tank it. So get into a hot tub and you've just
One
lost it.
drink,
One
one
drink.
drink, one sauna, one hot tub.
Yeah,
Right?
Wow.
exactly. Yeah, and you got to build it up for another 81 days. I said, go, for 81 days. This is your time to contribute to your child. And they say morning sickness is linked to what's going on with the sperm. They say, when you're fertilizing, there's just Embryo Man just posted this study. They can now tell that it's the women's genetics and egg quality that gets it to day 3, but from day 3 to day 5 blast, it's the man's contribution. So, I think it's really important that people understand 4 out of my 5 patients in the last 6 months, every batch I take, 4 out of 5 have had some male factor. Male factor is on the rise. People
Well,
need to,
it's always the male, it's always the female. See,
yeah,
we label it, oh, it's the woman endo. But again, remember, reproduction is a team sport.
yep,
It's always the egg, always the sperm. What happens is, oh, he's got really bad sperm and she's fine. Well, it's always both.
yeah.
She's got endo and he's fine. Always both. So if we always say it's 100% the sperm, 100% the egg, 100% the embryo, and 100% the implantation environment, then we're not forgetting something.
Yeah.
We're focusing on all of it. That's why Afshan is saying that, okay, what are you putting on? What are you using this way? What are your supplements? Keep it simple.
What are you
There's
putting in your body?
simplicity
What
to
are
all
you
of this.
eating also? And what are you putting in your body, in your mouth? Someone's asking about nano silver. You're talking about colloidal silver. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of colloidal silver in toothpaste. You're putting
Why is it
nano
bad? Why
silver.
is it bad? Is silver a natural part of our diet?
No. No. So,
No.
you're putting it in your toothpaste, you're swallowing it. It can turn your nose blue. I'm not a fan of it. And definitely not
Oh,
for
wow.
women who are trying to conceive. Why are you putting a heavy metal in your body when you're trying to conceive? It can have all kinds of neurological effects on the child. So I would not do that. Like I said, one of my future plans is to develop this app, and the reason why is because there are only so many patients that I can take in, and I realize that most of what I do, whether it's looking at ingredients for bath and beauty or supplements, like that's the hard part, to look at the ingredients. Then, as far as the supplements are concerned, there are certain supplements that I think most people most clinics would advise like a good vitamin D, a good, omega-3. The thing is that a lot of people buy these fake supplements on Amazon. You'd be surprised how many people have come to me, and I've tested them for their omega-3 levels and omega-6 levels. This is another thing I wanted to comment on for all of you. Please don't get your supplements from Amazon. Get them from some vetted. And go to Kilt.
I
Go
sell
to Dr.
supplements
Kilt.
on Amazon.
Yes. No, no. How do you know they're not fake?
Find some trusted supplements wherever you buy them.
Yeah, trusted. And if you're buying it,
wherever you buy them.
the problem is for Amazon is that you'll sell the real thing, and then another one they'll say,
But again, it's not where we're working to get everyone that they become knowledgeable of everything that they're putting in and on their body.
Yeah. So anyway, and for the omega-3s, I always test them. And if they are, the issue with omega-3s is there are a lot of fake ones out there. And I have had patients come in, and there's a pinprick test you can do that's inexpensive to test your omega-3, omega-6. I have had people come in with like 43 omega-6s to 1 omega-3, and they've been on an omega-3 supplement for a year. I'm like, change that omega-3 supplement because that's not doing anything. For those who want to know why omega-3s are good.
Right? Eat fatty meat.
Eat fatty meat. I was going to say, yeah, you can get them, you'll never get enough sardines. The fatty meat, fatty red meat has something called C15 in it that's even so touted to be better than omega-3s. So go for that. And what you need to stay away from too many omega-6s because it makes your cell wall rigid. And so think about embryonic development. Think about all of that.
Okay, so I don't know what an omega-6 and omega-3 is.
It's omega-6. Omega-3 is from fish. Omega-6 is from seed oils. Processed foods, so, omega-6.
So essentially, because the science is complicated to me.
Okay.
Eat animal fat, stay away from plant oils. And plants in
processed
general
foods,
are part of our problem. So again, I still say omega-6 3 ratios are like measuring calories or what's the right ratio of macros. Mm-hmm. Eat fatty meat and make love to life.
Yeah, I was going to say I think it's more helpful for the practitioner, like a coach like me. I'm thinking of, and you can tell me what you think about this, Dr. Kilt. I'm thinking of, because now I'm getting to be, more than a year in on my own program. And before I started this program, I was working with various fertility coaches. One of them, she almost got an NIH grant before the regime change to study the fact that a lot of her patients, when she put them on certain protocols, had like a lower cellular age than a chronological age, and then they'd go into IVF. And if their chronological age was, let's say her regular age was like 38, but her cellular age was 42, then she would do not as good as someone whose cellular age was like 30. And so it's really amazing because I worked with several coaches on this, and I found certain supplements to be very helpful. And usually antioxidants. CoQ10 is one, but NMN is also one. It helps build NAD. And so I also suggest those supplements. And basically everything I do can be taught to another coach. So I'm thinking of doing maybe a coaching program that could, then teach more people what I'm doing, and it might actually fund the rest of my app because I've paid for the prototype and I've got a good amount saved for the app itself, but I still need to fundraise for it. These coaching programs that I had to go and sign up for, they're quite expensive. They're $2,000 to $4,000 per certificate, and I could offer one way cheaper.
Our coaching course.
So your coaching course is only $500, I think.
What is it right now, Alia?
$500.
$500.
Yeah.
$500.
So yeah.
Kills coach.
It kills coach.
And all of these things about the cosmetics and everything.
I was going to say we should put one together that has the fertility and cosmetics.
Do our coaching hour of power for the cosmetics.
I will talk to Dr. Nelson about that.
Yes.
If you would like to do a lesson.
Okay. For me to teach a lesson, you mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have to talk
Yeah,
to
I'd love that.
Austin.
I'd love that. I'd love that. I'd love to spread my knowledge, but I'd love to find a way also to build a coaching program with you where I could take a little bit of it for my app and save it for my app. I could even stick it in a GoFundMe or something.
So
So,
my good friend, Dr. Verdias, always says collaboration.
yeah, let's collaborate. Because
Collaboration
I'd
is
love to fund this app.
it is for creation.
That's right.
Collaboration for creation.
That's right. What I'd love to do is get some more coaches out there that doing what I do so that I'm not limited to only taking a few patients a month. Everybody can do it. And then they can use my app to help them do the hard part, which takes me really a long time, which is going through these ingredients. Because the rest of it is nutrition.
But if
coaching.
it has a long list of ingredients, it's probably something you don't want to put in and on your body anyway.
Right.
Yeah, but there's people who won't stop, and then it gets in the way from their, I think if you got an app, why not use it? I'm paying for it. Nobody else is.
Well, I'm not saying not to do that. We always go to the first simplicity, the first order of life. Occam's razor, simplicity.
Mm-hmm.
And simplicity is our journey. We make it complicated, right?
Yeah.
Love, kindness, generosity, and faith in God.
I got to tell you one other thing about this app. So on the patient side, there's a patient side and a practitioner side. On the patient side, there's going to be a video library. So people can come in, they can learn about carnivore, they can learn about anything. That video library is free. So I hope Dr. Kelsey will come on, teach them about carnivore. Anything in the video content library is free. Anyone can access it.
Alia at drkills.com. I'll do everything and anything as long as it's on my schedule, right, Alia?
That's right. So,
yeah, I love it because that's what we're here to do, Afshan. And remember, what's the most important thing in your life, Afshan?
Reproduction.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. So
our little ones, our little ones, right?
My baby girl is everything. So you'll have a place to go and watch all the videos you want for free on health. Then you'll have a place to kind of check out your bath and beauty ingredients and your food and water ingredients and everything else ingredients. And you can click on a button and have that sent to your coach, which will have taken perhaps Dr. Kiltz's course or my course or our collaborative course. And then you can make more babies. And that's my next thing I want to do. So really, really happy.
We have like 4 minutes left and a bunch of questions. Can we do a speed round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
What water filter do you recommend and what clothing material is best for health?
So best for health clothing material is linen or cotton or wool. They have a different frequency. They did a bunch of studies with dogs in polyester, and they could not get pregnant. It's amazing for a year. So don't wear polyester or anything synthetic. Aqua True, I think, is what True Aqua or Aqua True is the filter I use. They've got countertop filter, and they've also got reverse osmosis filter. Reverse osmosis is awesome. If you can do that, stay away from the plastic. And whatever filter you use, especially countertop filter, make sure it's not got plastic on it. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes. Let's see. Please, I have heard that retinol vitamin A causes birth defects. Really?
Absolutely it does. And if you are using the retinol alternatives like bakuchi oil and you're trying to conceive, please do not, because it does the same thing as the retinol in pregnant women. It actually there are a bunch of them. So there's bakuchi oil, and there's a bunch of other plant ones. And honestly, I don't sell them. My manufacturer came to me and said, "Oh, we got these alternatives for retinol. Why do you want it?" And I was like, "Nope." I researched them. They're plant derived, so they're natural, great, but they do the same thing as the vitamin A, so they cause birth defects. You don't want them. And then there's bakuchi oil actually stimulates autophagy, but if you're using it in the cycle where you're getting pregnant, the autophagy is not good, because when there's a new study on 2024 that came out, autophagy is like the immune system. Just at that right time when you got to have the implantation, you got to lower the inflammation, lower the immune system, lower the autophagy. And so you don't want that. So yeah, I would say.
All right, Alia.
Yeah.
let's.
Do we have a discount code to a shop? Actually, you can just join. I give discount
I
codes to my
think the
shop.
answer is yes, Ali.
Yes.
Get us a discount code all
Sure.
through the Kilts Health shop, right?
Yes.
That'd be good for everyone. Learn more about Afshan and take her course.
Yeah. So if you want a discount code to my shop, just go to PregnancySafeCosmetics.com and send me one.
So
No,
Kilts,
yeah.
Yep. All right. What's our giveaway today?
It is a t-shirt, a Kilts Mighty Tribe t-shirt.
Go ahead and hit it.
Where am I? Here we are. Thank you for playing, everyone. There we go.
Oh, me too, but I won't be in there.
Aw.
All right.
Georgia Drift Nuts. Congratulations. Please email me, Ali, at drkilts.com. And I'll email you. I'll get you your shirt.
Where can people find you?
Address.
So if you want to find me, you can email me info@PregnancySafeCosmetics.com. You can also go to PregnancySafeCosmetics.com and contact me through the Contact Us page. Follow me at Pregnancy Safe Cosmetics on Instagram. Follow my broadcast channel on Instagram. Listen to the free podcast and click on the fertility program page on PregnancySafeCosmetics.com and fill out that little form in the middle of the page. Leave a phone number. Get back to me and schedule a Zoom call with me. It's free.
All right. Awesome. All right. Tonight, 5:30, we have a guest tonight.
With Dr. Soul. Sabrina Soul. Dr. Sabrina Soul.
Sabrina, nice. Awesome. So 5:30 today. Appreciate everyone. And remember, keep sharing. Inspire others to go to Kilts Mighty Tribe for free. We will be in Boca, San Diego. Look at our list on kiltshealth.com.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, I have a question for Alia before we go. How many coaches do you have?
We'll go. We're signing off right now.
Okay.
I'll email you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, tell me.
Bye,
All right. See you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.